What's going on, everybody? This is Chris from AppSumo, and today I am super excited to be joined by Jordan Steen. If anybody doesn't know Jordan, let me go over him real quick, give him an intro. So Jordan is the owner of Serial Entrepreneur Academy and has been involved in the digital marketing space since 2007. Serial Entrepreneur Academy, which educates the students on digital marketing principles like social media marketing and ads, website design, email and SMS marketing, pay-per-click advertising, and search engine optimization, has over 4,000 students enrolled that have generated over $50 million in revenue. That's crazy, Jordan. Thanks for hopping on. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, AppSumo. Thanks, Chris, for sitting here and taking an hour to chat with me and let me chat your ear off. But yeah, man, I'm super excited to be here. Obviously, since I've been in the game since 2007, AppSumo is definitely a company I've heard of. So it's seriously humbling to be able to come on here and do this.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate hearing that. And for everybody on here, if you're watching the replay, if you stick around till the end, we are going to be letting you know about a awesome giveaway that we're doing in collaboration with Jordan. So stick around and we will address that towards the end. But Jordan, where did this come from? What happened in 2007 that kind of shifted you into the space? What's your background?
Well, it actually starts before 2007.
Okay.
It started
further back.
Like, I always like to give this like quick story. Basically, I was a kid and I wasn't the kid that wanted to be the scientist or the firefighter. I wanted to be an inventor. Always did. So I would collect random things. Well, one day I was in the shower. I was super young. I think it was like 5 or 6. And I was in there and I hated taking showers because I just wanted to go out and play. So I like took a bottle of shampoo and conditioner, mixed it into one bottle. And I was like, oh yeah, we got 2 in 1. So I ran out of the shower, ran to my mom, like, look at this, we're going to be rich. And she goes, I love you. I love your passion, but I'm sorry, that already exists. So I knew then that I was going to do something in entrepreneurship. And throughout middle school, like I started selling candy when I was like 12 years old. I was making like $1,000 a month selling candy as a 12-year-old. I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. So in high school, which was around 2007, I was running a couple of different businesses and I wanted a way to market myself. Well, Facebook was super popular and I knew that I could go on there, create a profile, make it look like a business, and then use it to send out friend requests, message people, post, because organic reach was amazing back then, right? So you could reach half your audience with a post. And it would be a way for me to generate sales. And it ended up working out really well. Flash forward to college. I was developing an app with a couple of friends in college. We were going to competitions, trying to grow this app-based business. And so I was the business and marketing side. I'm not a programmer or developer or anything like that. And that's when, that's around the time when Facebook started to release their business platform. I started looking into platforms like Wix and Weebly, which had never existed before. These platforms were starting to become new. MailChimp, getting in really my feet wet with digital marketing and not even realizing that I was doing it, right? Because I remember I got a job offer. So flash forward a little bit further, later into college, I got a job offer from Gannett. And if you guys aren't familiar with Gannett, they're one of the largest media publications next to Cox Media. They're second to them, $4 billion company a year. But they offered me a job to come to Jacksonville and basically build and sell digital marketing campaigns to NTV, to local businesses. And so that's when I didn't even know. I remember sitting there with the recruiter who was the manager at the station. She was like, yeah, this is a job. I was like, that's a job? I can go sell like Facebook stuff to people? I didn't even think it was really a thing. Like I thought I was just doing it. And I was like one of the first person that ever started doing it, but obviously not. But yeah, so that's where it all kind of pushed towards. And then I didn't get the opportunity that I wanted. Essentially, I was training 16 sales reps who were much older than me on digital marketing. Like my digital marketing sales manager wasn't even running the training anymore because she didn't understand it as well. So she would ask me to do the training. They eventually fired her and I asked for the promotion, but because I was only 23, they weren't going to give it to me because I didn't have the sales experience yet, which I now understand. But at the time I'm young and I'm ambitious. I was like, all right, well, forget you guys. I'm going back to Atlanta where I'm from and where I'm at now. And I'm going to start my own thing. Well, started a detailing company for about 2 years. I was doing commercial detailing on businesses, commercial pressure washing on businesses, and then mobile auto detailing. And I was running all of the marketing for that. We were able to make around 180 grand in the first 2 years of operating that business, which, it's a very tough industry, but also it's not like super high. The price of the service isn't very high, right? So it takes a lot to be able to make 180, especially with guerrilla style marketing and Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing. So I started looking, I was like, dude, I enjoy the marketing side of it so much more. Why would I not just do that? And I've already experienced what it's like to be in the agency world, and I have my feet up under me. I understand how it works. I understand operations. Let's just do that. And the funny thing was, at the time, a guy you guys are probably familiar with, Ty Lopez, started coming out with content and releasing his program about starting an agency. And I purchased it to see what was included in it and if it could actually teach me anything. And I felt super discouraged by the time I got done, because I spent like $700, but I knew what was actually required to be able to run a Facebook campaign, and none of it was in there. I knew what was required to run email marketing and automations, and none of the real stuff that you needed was in there. So I launched my YouTube channel because one of the best things was like, I can't remember his name, Joe something, it doesn't matter. He was going over a digital marketing audit and how to put one together for a potential marketing agency client. And after watching it, I remember when I used to do it back in Jacksonville, I was like, well, you could do this so much better and it'll provide so much more value and yield results. And so I released a video on YouTube about that. People loved it. It was really the video that made my channel take off. And then now here we are 3 years later, we're almost at 50,000 subscribers. We've got over 4,000 students, like you mentioned. And it's just, there's no looking back now. And on top of that, we have the agency running with clients that we work with that, that's really what helped boost the serial entrepreneur brand. Like, they both just work really, really well together. And again, it's super surreal. Like, I never thought I'd be a YouTuber, but now I tell people, they're like, what do you do? I'm like, honestly, I'm just a YouTuber. Like, I create content about online marketing. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you actually make money doing that? That's the funny part too. But no, it's been a crazy journey, man. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
That's awesome. That's super cool to hear. That is a wild ride. I want to go back to the pressure washing business. Where did that come from? Like, you had all this skill in digital marketing, and then you went back to Atlanta and you decided to get into that. It was an industry you saw that just didn't have good quality marketing, that if you could layer that on top, or what were you thinking?
Actually, it's a lot simpler than that. Okay. My dad and both my parents, actually, all of my step parents, even, we've all had a very entrepreneurial spirit kind of built into us. And so that's kind of where I got it from, was watching a lot of my dad, because my dad actually used to run a mobile detailing and commercial pressure washing business. He lives down in Florida. When I would go visit him, and I'd stay over the summer during college or high school, we'd stay a month down there. I would work with him. And so I figured out how to run the business, and it's not complicated at all. Really, it's super simple. You just have to have the tools and the chemicals, and you can run the business. And it was pretty good money too. Like, the cost of operation was super low. It was pretty much just gas and chemicals. That was it. So that's what I started to do. And the other thing is, and this is for all of you guys who are wanting to start any type of business, do not do it and just completely quit your day job. You need some form or some steady stream of revenue coming in. And that's what, it sucked in the beginning, because I was working that job and I was working 40 hours on this job. So I was doing about 90 to 100 hours a week working on these companies. But I knew that I had bills to pay and responsibilities, like a lot of you probably do. So you have to have that steady stream of income coming in, unless you just have some type of backing where people are going to provide the funding for you and you can pay yourself. Like, you have to have that job. And so that's what I knew I needed, but I had to run that to be able to pursue something else. And that was my ultimate goal. I just had to figure out, okay, well, right now I just need money. I need to pay bills. Let's do this. But ultimately, I know I'm not going to sit here. And the thing was, I never wanted to do back-breaking work for the rest of my life. There's no way I could do that for 30 years. It was tough, very tough, especially when you're detailing cars in the winter. Your hands are freezing. Like, it did not feel good. So I knew I had to make a change. And really, I don't know if it was just subliminally or if I just always knew that I was going to end up in the marketing space, but somehow I knew I was just like on that path to where I would end up doing what I'm doing now.
Did you feel like you were doing something different? Like, you were doing all of the marketing and you were working and teaching about the Facebook campaigns, and then you went down that route. Did you always kind of see it as like coming back around or a part of that marketing? Or did you see yourself as like, I'm going to try something new?
I think it just kind of came around full circle. Like, I have always enjoyed teaching, but I never thought of myself as being a teacher. And that's essentially what I am now. But I remember in math class, because I was so good at math in like high school and stuff like that, I had friends who would always come up to me because math is always the least favorite subject of all time. So I would have people come up to me, and I loved being able to sit there, because for me, the gratification comes from seeing somebody who goes from struggling to that aha moment when they really finally get it, and then they're able to do it by themselves. That's what makes me feel good. And that's what I really feel good about with, the marketing agency stuff. And a lot of us who do this stuff now get a bad rap because we're seen as marketing gurus just trying to make money off of info products. But the cool part about mine is I'm not trying to, obviously everybody else is going to say this too, but I really feel like I put my best effort into this and tried to make it as good as possible so that somebody could use a program like mine to actually build a business and not just pay $500 and not get the results that they want. I mean, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is on you. If you don't put in the time and the commitment and you're not willing to go the distance, make sacrifices, you're not going to be a successful entrepreneur, because that is what every successful entrepreneur has to do. So, that's really what the difference though is. We've built a program now, and we listened to what customers had to say. We've listened to the comments, and we've catered that program around those comments and that feedback. And I think that's why so many students from our program, if they follow the system we have in place, they make money every single time. At the very least, they make enough money to cover the investment that they put into my program. But typically it's like, Jordan, I started making $2,000 a month. Jordan, I started making $10,000 a month. And now we have students who are making over $100,000 a month with their agency. I have a student who called me like 2 months ago saying she did $400,000 during the second COVID month because she did a little adjustment and started doing event-based digital marketing. And she was able to sell $400,000 in services in a month and a half. I was like, dude, Kayla, that is insane. Like, it was just insane to hear about. But, it just goes to show that the ones who stay committed and actually follow it, they have the results that make me feel good at the end of the day. And really, that's all I want to see. I want to change other people's lives. And if I can do that financially, that's like one of the coolest things to see, is because then they get to help their family. They get to do things they never thought they'd be able to do. And that's really what, again, it's just satisfying. It's gratifying.
Yeah. Well, and I love what you said about having that personal responsibility aspect of it too, because that's what I find so interesting about entrepreneurship is, like, if you're trying to do something that's never been done before, there's no system or process or things like that in place for your specific thing. You can get a framework like what you're talking about in teaching people the elements, but it's like for your specific path, you have to carve that out your own. And if you have that discipline and that hustle and that grit, and you'll just keep pushing through, that's what it takes. There's not, I guess, this other like school where you can just kind of go through, and as long as you kind of stay within the boundaries, you're going to be fine.
Right. And that was honestly, I think it's one of the coolest, but also the most challenging parts of doing this, was because there is no, like, even for digital marketing agencies, one of the biggest questions we get now, being in it for 3 years, I've realized how important operations are. Right. And what really did it was, after the first year, I was like, okay, we need to make things more efficient, more effective. And we need to stop wasting money on things, so I want to really hone in on things that we can maximize output with minimal input. Right. And so I really started to dive into SOPs, and now it's one of the biggest things I focus on with the agency students, is because I tell them, I'm like, look, I didn't go and buy my operational processes for creating marketing campaigns from some other agency, because you can't. But like, this is, it's still such a new concept, as far as, like, even though digital marketing has been around for probably 20 years, it's still such a new concept to people and to businesses and to even marketers, because so many marketers are stuck in traditional marketing, TV, radio, print, stuff like that. But there is no like step-by-step guide. So guys like us had to kind of pioneer that space. So again, it was really cool, but it was also super challenging to do, because I remember, that's why we're on DMS 2.0. It's because we made the first one, but then we realized, there's so much stuff that we could have added and so many ways we could have made this better. So let's do it again. So then we're recreating a whole other course. And this one has like over 150 lessons in it, quizzes. Like it's like a full on, like, I've had students tell me, yo, this is like a college course. If not, it's like 3 college courses. Cause they'll come back to me 2 to 3 months after purchasing it. Like, dude, I'm going through it a second time because there's that much information. But that's exactly what I wanted, because digital marketing is not just some simple 2-step thing like all these gurus that are out there try to make it seem like it is. But yeah, it's fun, but it is definitely challenging at the same time.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I know you have a presentation to share, so I don't want to keep the people waiting for that. If you want to dive in.
Sure. So guys, we've been talking about, Chris and I have been talking about entrepreneurship and my agency and my program and basically what I want to talk to you guys about. And it's been a blessing because of the fact that COVID has been happening. And I have an opportunity now the fact that COVID happened is not preventing me from running a business. And it's not preventing me from I'm not worried about job security because I run my own business. And the cool thing is now there's the opportunity for people like you and I to run a business from anywhere at all. If you have a laptop, an internet connection, maybe like a webcam, and that's really all you need, and you can run a super successful online business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Is I have basically a presentation that's going to open your eyes to some options, but then go down one path specifically, which is the marketing agency side, and show you exactly the steps you'll need to take. Plus, I'll give you some other training resources, some free resources, and like Chris mentioned, we're doing a massive giveaway at the end of this, so you're going to want to stay tuned. But let's go ahead and hop on over to my screen real quick.
Awesome. And I'm going to turn my camera off and cool. Yep. Coming through for me. Looks great.
Cool. All right, guys. So again, how to start a work from anywhere online business that generates at least $100,000 plus per year. And guys, the key here, the reason why it says $100,000 plus per year is because that's really the kind of the standard. That's really what the average American, the average anybody, I think, really would aspire to make is at least $100,000 per year. And that's because at $100,000, you can pretty much live the comfortable lifestyle where you can do the things you want to do and have the time you want to have, and be fiscally responsible at the same time, right? So we're going to talk about how to build an online business. Again, we have several different methods with which you can do this. My favorite method is it's starting a marketing agency, a social media or digital marketing agency. And there are other methods like starting a personal brand, which is like what my YouTube channel is, a serial entrepreneur. A personal brand is a super fun way because it's literally taking your passion and turning it into a business. And again, you're never working if you're doing something you love. YouTube channel, a blogger, and guys, people give a bad rap to bloggers, but you can make a crap ton of money blogging, and we make extra money through affiliate marketing just because of blogging. I'm sure Chris, you've probably either known someone or you've probably done it yourself, but affiliate marketing is just amazing.
That's been one of the most successful channels at AppSumo that we started a couple of years ago, and we have affiliates making a lot of money with us.
Sure. And it's because all you have to do is find a passion or have something that you're passionate about, find products that you can promote around that passion, and boom, you've got an affiliate-based business that can easily make millions of dollars per year, guys, millions, to sell other people's products, right? That's the coolest part about affiliate marketing. You don't even have to create a business, really. You're just creating content and selling other people's products. So you don't have to worry about customer service. You don't have to worry about product updates, none of that stuff.
Well, and especially if you have a good system for marketing and then you just get to put more and more products through it without you having to create them.
Exactly. So you have an unlimited supply of products and services that you could offer, and all you're doing is running marketing campaigns, creating content, running sales funnels. So it's an amazing way to make money. A TikTok channel can also be used to create a personal brand. I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of that going on. An Instagram account. I'm sure you guys are well aware of the Instagram, even though I have a lot to say about some Instagram models. I'm so sick of seeing that kind of stuff and people making money off of like posting selfies. If you guys want something funny and you're an adult, go check out Jim Jeffries' Intolerant. He talks about that it's hilarious. Anyways, getting back to this, creating an e-commerce brand, creating a drop shipping brand, and creating an Amazon business. All of these are passive forms of income where you can go anywhere in the world. Again, if you have a laptop or a smartphone, an internet connection, a camera of some kind, you can run one of these kinds of businesses. Even with a marketing agency, most people are like, well, Jordan, what if I have a client who lives in Washington and I live in Georgia? Cool. What do you need? Oh, well, we need video done. Am I supposed to fly out there? No, you call a video company out in Washington. You work out an agreement between the both of you that is mutually beneficial. You both make money. They go do the shoot and send you the video. Now, again, you could be in Africa and that you could still set up that exact same thing. So, and by the way, guys, if you want a copy of this presentation or if you want to follow along and you just want it right here, all you have to do is type in that link right there, https://bit.ly youtube.com/online-business-CEA, and you can get access to this exact PowerPoint. All right, next, starting a digital marketing agency. All right, guys, why do you want to do this specific one? Why is this one my favorite one? It comes down to 4 main reasons. Number 1, businesses need digital marketing to compete and survive. Traditional marketing is going out the door every single day. It's getting less and less market share, and digital and social media is taking on more and more market share. What does that mean? It means more revenue for people like you. You have more opportunity to make money because the budgets are leaving those other areas. They will actually pay at minimum $1,500 to $2,500 per month for you to manage their online marketing presence, which is, most people are like, holy crap, that's a lot. That's actually nothing compared to some of the, like, for example, I love to give this example because it always blows my students' minds. They're always like, wait, really? When I worked in Jacksonville at the major, big corporate marketing agency, we had a client who was the largest car dealership in Jacksonville, right? They were spending around $150,000 per month just with us, and they were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with about 3 to 4 other news agencies in the same market. So they were spending anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million per month just on digital marketing. This doesn't include their TV budget. This doesn't include any like floor sales reps or anything like that. This is just digital marketing. So there is a ton of money to be made in the digital marketing space. So to reach $100,000 of revenue, all you need is 6 clients per month at $1,500. And that is super simple. I mean, think about that. 6 clients. All right, let me go on to this next stat real quick, because it's 6 clients at $1,500. That's $9,000 a month, $108,000 a year, right? But look at this. You need 6 clients. According to businessjournals.com, there are over 32.5 million businesses in the US alone. And if you can't get 6 of those to sign up for you for $1,500 a month, then you're the one of those ones that I was talking about that isn't actually going to try. They're not going to commit to the process, because guys, I'm telling you, 6 clients at $1,500 is very, very easy to do. And then finally, businesses have stuck to traditional marketing since 1729 with the implementation of newspaper ads, right? Then it developed into radio, then it developed into television, right? Those all had their own individual gold rushes, which, let me put it in quotations, gold rushes, because of the fact that when they came out, when TV ads first started coming out, they weren't super popular at first, kind of like digital marketing. But then people started to see the value in being able to put their brand in front of a local market and say, hey, come buy from us, right? It's the same thing, but now it's with digital. All of those budgets that used to exist for paper or print, for radio, for TV, for billboards, all of that is flooding into digital marketing now. So what do you need to do? All you need to do is follow this 7-step method, build your agency, and you can be grabbing yourself a piece of the pie that we're talking about. So the 7-step method to reaching $100,000 plus per year. You need to first learn SWEPs. We'll talk about SWEPs in a minute. We're actually going to break down that whole acronym over here. You need your legal setup, which is the easiest part of the whole entire thing, which is basically just starting your business. Determine your service offering. You need to price your service offering appropriately, so that way you're actually profitable. Create SOPs, standard operating procedures, which I was talking about earlier with Chris, for day-to-day operations. Build your fulfillment team, which is how you're going to take yourself or remove yourself from the business and make it passive. And then finally, start acquiring clients. And the reason why this is actually before you start acquiring clients is because the way I teach it, you're not going to go get a client and then sit there and manage and create the ads and create the images and build the website, because a lot of you don't have those skills. Guys, I don't know how to code a website. You don't have to know how to code a website in today's day. All you have to do is know how to price your products properly or your services properly, and you can hire other people to do the work, and you, which you're the CEO, so you should be doing anyway, can focus on the growth of your business. And this is a big tip to you guys, and I want you guys to take this with you. If this is the only thing you hear from me, start working on your business and not in your business. And if you haven't heard that, you need to get more involved in entrepreneurship, because seriously, that is why we have students that value my information, is because we start getting them to say, okay, stop focusing on, I need to create posts, I need to run social media pages, and start focusing on, how do I build up a team of people that can manage that? And then I can focus on the growth side. So for example, if you wanted to build a sales team, so that way you don't even have to worry about the sales. Now you have somebody running the campaigns and building the campaigns. You have someone bringing on new clients. The only thing you really have to do from there is focus on operational development. So let's talk about this 7-step method really quickly. First step, and I'm going to go through this quickly, guys, because I don't want to take up all of Chris's time. He's a busy guy. But First step is to learn SWEPs. So what is SWEPs? To start, SWEPs are the 5 major pillars. This is actually an acronym that I created that's easy to remember. That is basically it's the 5 major pillars of digital marketing. Okay, so if you're running a digital marketing agency, you need to know how these 5 pieces work. Again, you don't have to be an expert in each. Everybody's always asking me, well, Jordan, do I have to become an expert at Facebook ads? Do I have to know how to develop a website? No, you need to understand how these concepts and theories play together. That's it. If you understand how they work, then, and you can have a conversation, because here's the thing, you can't hire someone to do the work for you if you don't know how to communicate with them about it, right? So you have to understand how the service works. You need to understand the ins and outs, but you don't actually have to know how to code a website. You need to know the marketing aspect of running a website, all right? So these are the 5 major pillars. It doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C. Everybody is using these 5 pillars, which are social media marketing and ads, website design and development, email marketing and automation, pay-per-click marketing, which is essentially Google ads, paid Google ads. And then you have search engine optimization, which is the organic side of Google. So we're going to talk about all of those really quickly. So first, social media marketing and ads, the first S. All right, we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, and TikTok. I don't even put Twitter in here because I don't see it as a prominent platform for what you guys are going to be doing. Twitter's more prominent for like political figures, celebrities, things, people who actually have a large following because it allows them to be vocal. But you probably have noticed, if you've ever gone on Twitter yourself, you're not really getting a ton of engagement, and local businesses never do either. So Facebook, Instagram, the greatest part about this is you just need to learn how to run ads. Posting on Instagram and Facebook used to be great. I mentioned earlier, the organic algorithm used to allow you to reach around 25 to 50% of your audience. Meaning if you had a business page and you had 100 followers, you could reach 25 people. Now it's below 0.5%, meaning you're going to reach maybe half a person. And that's not even a thing, right? So posting content to business pages now does nothing. Stop wasting your time and your effort. Learn how ads work and learn how to build out a sales funnel within Facebook and Instagram to drive traffic to your site, convince them, and then convert them. All right. Then from there, LinkedIn, great for B2B companies. YouTube is awesome for brands that want to create content, information, products, people who are there to entertain. That's where YouTube really works great. It's not for local businesses. Like, for example, I always give this example. Do not try to run a YouTube channel for your real estate agent client. Like, if your real estate agent client is posting listings on their website or on their YouTube channel, then they're doing the exact opposite of what YouTube is actually for. Because why? Have you ever in your life gone to YouTube to look for a house, a listing? No, because that does not make sense. You go to Google or you go to Zillow and you find a bunch of houses. An example of where it could work for a real estate agent, let's say they're trying to recruit new real estate agents to their team. We actually worked with a client who did that a while ago. If you want to recruit new agents, that's a great way. Why? Because you can teach principles of real estate and you can teach people ways to get more clients or sell more homes, buy more homes, whatever, right? So think about that. Snapchat, great for clients whose audience or customer base is in the younger demographic. I still don't prefer their ad platform, but it is good to use, again, if your audience is in the younger demographic. And then finally, TikTok, which is the most popular social platform right now. It's great for younger audiences, but it's even working well with older audiences too. Especially with Corona hitting, it has helped the older generation jump on TikTok a lot faster than they probably would have without it happening. But it's great for younger audiences and adding personality to a brand. But there are tons of people now who are TikTok famous who are making a good amount of money. And you can even use this for your business if it makes sense. Again, it's not going to be for every business. Most businesses can use Facebook and Instagram. Not every business is going to be able to use these other 4. Then you have website design and development. Again, key thing here, guys, you don't have to know how to build a website, like how to actually code it. You don't need to know how to use WordPress or Wix or Weebly, Squarespace, Duda, whatever you plan to use. You don't need to know how to use that. The key that you actually need to understand how to do is build out wireframes and build out sitemaps, which are the base structure of the website before you go into development. Then you hire a developer, have them put it all together, and then you charge a premium for it. So 2 parts to website design and development are design and development. The design is the actual visual appeal of the site. As marketers, we try to stay on top of the most up-to-date design specs and trends that push potential buyers to make decisions. Meaning things change all the time. Where's my phone? Phones. right? This is going to make it different. It's going to make it look different. Your whole site will look different on a phone than it will on a desktop. Why? Because you have more screen, right? Same thing with tablets, laptops. So there's a lot that goes into the visual appeal of a website that actually convinces people to buy, or at least to think about buying. And then development is the actual coding side of it, or the architecture of the site. But again, no worries. You don't have to know how to develop to build a website anymore. That's where we teach you how to hire a team. We'll talk about that later. Email marketing and automation. Super simple. Most people tend to think that email marketing is dead, although the truth is that if you know how to use email marketing, you're going to increase sales up to 30% and have open rates of up to 70% if you do it the right way. We average about a 70% open rate with our serial entrepreneur automations. And that is great for it. It boosts our sales at least 20 to 30% every single month. That is 20 to 30% of our sales revenue. And it wasn't like that before we started using it. Email marketing is actually a primary source of revenue, like I mentioned, for both of my companies, Serial Entrepreneur and my marketing agency, R&B Marketing. And then if you tack on SMS marketing, you've really got an automated gold mine. And what I mean by automated is the fact that it is all done automatically. And the cool thing is with like SMS, you can get up to 90% open rates because everybody checks their phone. It's actually probably higher in a lot of different niches. The open rate is actually probably a lot higher too than 90%. But email marketing, definitely not dead, super useful. You just have to know when to apply email marketing. Not everybody's going to need it. Pay-per-click marketing, one of the most old school forms of marketing. It's been here since search engines, not the whole time, but pretty much the entire time search engines have existed, and that most of you have seen them. They have been using PPC ads, and that's these ads you see right here at the very top. Sometimes they're at the very bottom of the page. It depends on how competitive the niche or the industry is. But it's one of the most effective ways to market. Why? Well, let me ask you a question, and you guys can think about the answer in your head. But if your AC unit breaks outside of your house, what's the first thing you do? You go to Google. If you need a new pair of tennis shoes and you don't feel like going to the store, you're just going to shop online. What do? You go to Google. What do you do if you want to go to a restaurant and you want to take that girl out or that guy out to a nice place? You go to Google, right? Every single time you want to search for something, your search begins at Google. We call it that top of funnel gold mine because it is. So if you get really good at PPC and SEO, you can easily start to acquire new clients. You can use this strategy for your agency in the beginning if you wanted. But one of the most effective forms of marketing, because it is intent-based marketing. People are going there with a specific intent, and if you know how to target those keywords, you can make sure that you show up in the search results and you're in the competition. And then finally, one of my favorite versions of digital marketing or concepts within digital marketing is search engine optimization, or otherwise known as SEO. All right. SEO is the organic side or the free side that people call it. And what it is this map section up here, and then the first set of results before you get to the ads section at the bottom, right? All of that is free for you to show up in those sections. What it's based on is your ability to provide great content, relevant content and service offerings and products, and to be able to understand how the architecture works within Google's algorithm. So staying on top of that algorithm is kind of a beast because there's over 300 points of that affect how your site will show up. But it's also one of the most lucrative sides because, again, once you start ranking, the only thing you have to do is keep optimizing and updating your content, which takes hardly any effort. You do it maybe 3 to 4 times a year, and you make minor adjustments to that content, and you're still ranking, driving traffic to your site, again, pushing people through the sales funnel and eventually getting sales. SEO is actually how we make, for Serial Entrepreneur, SEO is how we make and generate about 70%, not 70 because email we're doing it, so ads, it's probably about 50% of our entire revenue stream comes from free organic traffic that we don't have to pay for. We're just creating blog content and YouTube videos. So that is SWEPs, but now let's get into step 2, which is the legal setup. And these next steps will go pretty quickly, guys, so don't worry, we're almost done. The legal setup is the easiest portion of everything. People like to complicate this, though. People get intimidated by having to get their business license. And it's actually one of the easiest things to do because all you need your federal license, you need your local license, at least in the US. In other countries, it might be different, but really in every area, you need a license, which you can get through your online local government. You need a tax ID, which is super simple. You take the business license number that they give you, you go to irs.gov, you go to the portion for your tax ID or your employee identification number, you put in the license number, they send you an email, you have it in 5 minutes, and it's free. And there's companies out there too that are charging like $100 for them to do that exact process for you. It takes 5 minutes. They're making probably $100 every 3 minutes because they have the process narrowed down so much. So it's super simple. Don't pay for, please do not pay for someone to get your tax ID for you. And then finally, you just need a business checking account, which once you have the first 2 items, you can get the third. Guess what? Now you're a legal business. It is actually that simple. From there, you have to do minor things like, each month or each quarter, you have to file forms for any revenue made. But if you're not making revenue in the beginning and you're just growing, that's why I actually don't recommend starting the license until after you start generating revenue. But if you do, all you have to do is file a form and say, hey, we didn't make any money. So it's not complicated. Next, determine your service offering. A service offering is simply the services you plan to offer clients. Very straightforward. Here are a list of services that we offer, and there's even more than this, but these are the ones you'll want to look at in the beginning. And again, the cool thing is you don't have to offer all of these services. I have a student we're going to talk about later named Nate. He's actually only doing social media marketing and ads to drive top of funnel traffic. He runs email and SMS marketing through a CRM that we have taught him to use. And that CRM basically just sets leads and appointments on autopilot. All he has to do is go in and build the sequence, which takes 5 to 10 hours, and then it's done and it's set and ready to go. And then he builds websites. He does basic design and development. And again, he's not a coder. He's hired someone to build the websites for him. He comes up with the planning and strategy, and then he charges clients basically a margin that he then takes and is profitable with his business. So again, we have social media management and ads, web design and development, email and SMS, PPC SEO, which again, that's just SWEPs, content marketing, which I like to call the cousin because it's kind of comprised of every other part of digital marketing. You have things like conversion rate optimization, landing page development. I mean, I could seriously go, if you just wanted to do logo design, you could do a whole agency based in graphic design and development. That's it. It's up to you, but I personally like to offer all of the services and be that one-stop shop, and you could do the same thing yourself. So how do we price these services so that way we're actually profitable? Well, pricing services for potential clients is, again, very easy if you have a guide to go by. So consider, number one, your cost to create campaigns. This is actually a method called cost plus pricing, meaning your cost plus your desired profit margin equals your price, right? So you figure out your cost to create campaigns, you determine your desired profit margin, so 20, 30% profit margin. Then you create a standardized package offering to simplify the workload and customer acquisition. Standardization of your products and services and operations is key. So we recommend creating monthly packages for $2,500 for a starter, $5,000 per month for a growth, and then $10,000 plus per month for explode. And you could even do the plus part. Instead of saying 10,000 plus, you could create an enterprise style package that's always custom, and it's anything over $10,000, and that's separate if you want it. But let's look at, okay, so that's pricing. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. So that was step 3 and 4. Let's go into step 5. So pricing is actually super simple. You just have to know how, number one, again, how to figure out how much does social media marketing ads cost? Like what all is involved? How much do I need to price it? How much do I need to spend on a VA team to actually manage that service for you? And that's where we get into things like operations. So we create SOPs for day-to-day operations. Again, SOP is an acronym that stands for Standard Operating Procedure, meaning when you have, if you get a new client on and you need to onboard that new client, what are the steps to onboarding? After you get them onboarded, let's say we're running Facebook ads. How do we get that Facebook ad campaign created, developed, and set up, right? All of those are built or completed using a standard operating procedure. And the reason we spend so much time and effort perfecting our SOPs is so we can virtually automate every single process in the business and standardize every single process in the business so we know exactly what to do when something happens, right? If we get a new client, we do this. If they want this particular service, we do this. And it's the same every time with minor adjustments happening throughout the life of your business. So an SOP might look like the following. And this is actually a basic breakdown. You can see right here, it's actually much larger and much more complicated. You can see a bunch of lines and boxes going everywhere, but this is the basics of at least showing you what an SOP looks like. So for our sales process, right? We have a contract signed, which means we got a new client. What happens next? We start the onboarding process, and the onboarding process would have its own wireframe where it's built out. Then we move forward to update the CRM, right? So we need to update our CRM, and we need to let the CRM know that we won that deal, so we can track sales, right? After that, we set onboarding and kickoff call because we do an actual call once we get the onboarding information completed, right? So we need to confirm the date with onboarding members and make sure anybody else that needs to be on the call is going to be there. But all it is a step-by-step of what happens when you get a new client, step-by-step of what happens when you get a new content marketing campaign. Say you get a client who needs you to write blog content. Same thing. What steps do we take to get the blog written? And they're crucial for your business. I was talking with Chris about this earlier. They are seriously the most important thing I think that any business needs to understand. Like marketing is great, but if you can't create marketing campaigns in a timely manner that are actually killer marketing campaigns, you're going to have pissed off clients. And the only way you can do that is if your SOPs are in place. Then finally, the last two steps are step 6, build your fulfillment team. So you may have heard of the terms VA, which stands for virtual assistant, or outsourcing. At some point in your journey, you'll begin to hire a team internally, but you'll always use VAs in your day-to-day operations. Why is that though? Because I can actually, in the US, hire a VA in another country for a fraction of the cost that I'll have to pay here in the United States. Also, hiring from other people to perform tasks like copywriting, design allows you to focus on bringing in more money. Whether it's an internal employee or hiring a VA, your job as the CEO is not to sit here and write blog articles. Your job is to figure out how to grow the business and generate more revenue. If you're comfortable making 100 grand because you can manage a lot more of those tasks by yourself, if all you have is 6 clients, then fine. That's totally fine if that is your only goal. But if you want to make it, let's say, to 7 figures, 500 grand a year, or 7 figures, like over $1 million in revenue, you're going to have a team. There's no way in the world, I guarantee you, and I would make that bet, I'd make a $10,000 bet with anybody, you cannot run $1 million marketing agency by yourself. It is impossible. Plus, the other side of it is, guys, again, it feels good to help other people in other countries. Like, we are blessed enough to live in the US, in a first world country. And if I can help pay someone else's bills and support their family, and be able to, give to someone else and give them opportunity, then it just makes me feel good inside. And that's really what it's all about, guys, helping other people. I've never been a greedy person either. And that's one thing that's always different about me. Like, I always want, like, if I make it really big, that's what everybody always says. If I make it, I want my friends and family to come along with me. I want to be able to provide those opportunities for them. And that's another reason why all of this feels so good. Then finally, step 7, and then we'll wrap it up with some quick talking points. But step 7 is the money part. Okay. So we have to actually start acquiring clients. And this is the part everyone loves to do. Again, why? Because we're making checks. So the coolest part is you can automate a lot of the client acquisition process too. We use tools like Lead Connect and Find That Lead. Chris and I are going to talk about that with the giveaway. You guys at AppSumo are definitely familiar with this, but you use these to reach out to target audiences on autopilot. Then from here, we use a tool like Proposify to quickly put together a proposal. It is basically a drag and drop. We've inputted all of our products, services. We've already built out our team page. We've built out, a lot of the different assets that we'll need for a presentation. So it takes no time to put one together. Then all we do is we put together the proposal, we pitch the deal to the client, and we sign up the clients and collect a check. That is essentially the process of acquiring clients for your agency. But guys, all of this that I've talked about, all of this that, with starting your agency is completely possible. But here's the thing, the biggest thing, and any of my students will tell you this, because this is the reason why they found 90% of the time people come to my program from other programs because they didn't get the results they were looking for, like Tai Lopez's program. And I'm not trying to put Tai Lopez on blast, but I get this a lot from my students, and this is their direct response. And the reason why they come to our course or our program is because we lay it out so step by step, and we try to go in detail as much as possible. I was trying to rush through this because I know, again, we have to keep it within a simple time frame, but imagine how I just presented, but in a 45-minute video on one topic. There's a big difference, but we have a program that teaches you exactly how to do all 7 of these steps and more that you can check out. And if you don't believe me, here's some of the student results that we have on top of the ones that we'll get to at the bottom. But Christina spent $400 and was able to make $2,000 per month with her 2 clients, and she's adding on another $1,500. And this was after, I think she said, she didn't say the time, but I know it was very quickly after she purchased the program. That's why she said already. But she got her money back from the program, but also started making a sustainable income that she can now use to support her family, which is obviously the most important part. Amy wanted to talk about how the fact that she's already closed 2 clients, the content inside in the videos is very value oriented. We go step by step on how to generate content, use the tools that we actually use for marketing campaigns, optimize your time and budget, which is other stuff. We don't just go and teach you how to run marketing campaigns. We have a whole section just on basic marketing principles before you even get into the digital marketing side. But then we also talk about things like she said, prioritizing time, budgeting your money, because that's what entrepreneurship is. It isn't just running campaigns. There's a whole lot of stuff you actually have to understand how to do. And we try to focus on all of those different aspects. And then finally, Wiley, I think it's Willie, says, thanks for the valuable content. Got into it a few months ago with his parents' restaurant. They stabilized the restaurant now when they weren't doing so great, and they're getting new paying clients. So he's super excited about this. He always says, I've been absorbing everything I can, from library books to going nowhere webinars. And I always find myself coming back to your channel or website, which again, guys, if you want to, oh, we got some people. Oh, we've got some viewers. What's up? Espinito, awesome course. Well worth it, to be honest. Andreas, I hope Jordan will record it and place it on YouTube. Yep, all of this is going to be on YouTube, guys. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content, though. But if you want more free content, all you have to do, which we'll talk about in a second when we get down here, is go to my YouTube channel. You can search literally cereal like the food. I know it's not PC. It's not politically correct, guys. But here's the thing. I'm a marketer. I did it because I knew you would never forget that name. And people always try to give me, I don't know if I can cuss. People always try to give me crap about it. But it's a fun name. I was having fun with it, and I knew you'd never forget it. But Serial Entrepreneur, you can check it out over at YouTube. 3 final stories I want to talk about. These are my three of my star pupils. We have several students that are doing exactly this too, but I wanted to talk about these because they're 3 that have stuck with me. Like I've talked to Kayla now for over 3 years. She's been with me my entire journey. Zach has been with me for almost 2 years. Nate has been with me for the last year, but Kayla's doing over $100,000 with her agency. Zach Williams is doing over 75. Plus, this led him to start a whole other app-based company called Conversionly, where they actually convert clients for you. Like they'll do the conversion process for your doctor. Like if your doctor's setting up appointments, they'll do the sales calls and appointment setting for them. So he's created a whole nother company that's making another whopping ton of money. And then we have Nate Tilley, who during COVID was able to start making $20,000 plus per month with his agency, doing a very simple system, like I told you, with social ads, basic email, SMS, and CRM management, and doing basic websites. So I know that was a lot of information, everybody, but if you want to check out anything else we've got, again, you can find this presentation at this link. It actually might be a little different because this is like the designed one, but it has the same exact content in each presentation. It'll just look a little different. But you can find access to that there, or you can go to serialentrepreneur.academy. That's my website. We have over 300 blog articles for more training. YouTube channel, every blog article we create a video to go along with it. So we have over 300 videos on our YouTube channel. And we have a free discussion group. That's facebook.com/groups/serialentrepreneur. And again, you can get all these links at this presentation if you want to download it and get access to it. But, whew, hey, Chris. I think
What's up, brother?
I'm done talking.
Dude, that was incredible. That was honestly one of the best presentations I've seen in a long time. You packed a lot in there and simplified a lot of things, like getting your business set up and incorporating all of that. I think people make that a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And to see even just that one element, breaking that down, I can only imagine the quality of the course that you have. I'm super excited to check that out. But now I think would be a good time to introduce this giveaway that we're doing for everybody.
Sure, I think so. Let's do it.
All right. So for everyone on here, we are going to be doing a co-giveaway with Jordan, and it's starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And I'll give you the date for people watching the replay. That's going to be July 15th, 9 a.m. through July 21st, 9 a.m. That's Central Time. And we got a lot of stuff in here. It's going to be this incredible digital marketing giveaway to help you guys get set up, get your agency or consulting business up and running, and really allow you to take advantage of this time. So it's going to start off. This is what we got in it. We have $500 in AppSumo credits. We have Find That Lead, which is an AppSumo product. We have Crello, Pro Video Factory, Stock Unlimited, and Jordan is also throwing in Digital Marketing School 2.0 program and a 1-hour consulting call with him. You can ask him whatever you want. Jordan, if you want to expand on any of those, as well as why we chose some of those tools and what they're going to get from those products that you're putting in as well.
Well, like Chris said, a lot of these tools, well, first off, let's start off with the $500 AppSumo credit, because that's amazing in and of itself, guys. Here's the cool thing about AppSumo that a lot of people don't realize, and it's really something that my agency has started to take advantage of in the last year. Your LTDs are my favorite thing ever because, and if you don't know what that means, it's lifetime deal, meaning I can go and buy a software and I have it for life. So for example, Find That Lead was the software where we did exactly that. And that's why I told them I wanted to do a giveaway with that product. Find That Lead allows you to go out and find email addresses, phone numbers, like all kinds of information about potential leads for your agency. And we were using something called hunter.io.
Yep.
Exact same product, but you had to pay like $70 a month for it to use it. Well, I just paid $150 and now I have Find That Lead for life, and we can do 6,000 different searches per month, something like that. So that's amazing in and of itself. The other thing is the $500 credit that you can use. Like I was trying to say in the beginning, the $500 credit, you guys can use this for all different types of lifetime deals. You probably won't even have to pay for software for a good bit in your startup, which is going to be super helpful. Let's see what else. The DMS 2.0, that's the flagship program that I've been talking about. That's the one where you saw all of those reviews in the proposal, or in the presentation that I was just going through. That is our course that has over 3,500 students. We have other programs, like we have a mentorship program that's $10 a month. We have a personal branding course that teaches you how to start a YouTube channel and make money with that. But the one we're talking about today is going to be all about starting a marketing agency. And we just released this. I just want to throw this out there. If you guys want someone who is able to help you build the agency with you, we now have a done with you program. It's obviously a little bit more expensive, but we commit our time with you. We even give you one-on-one training for sales, for operations, for hiring and firing and building your team, all of that stuff. So it's another program that's really started to take off and people are loving it. But DMS 2.0, I promise you, if you want to do this on your own and you need a more affordable option, it's only $549, but we're giving one away for free. And then the hour-long consultation is just going to be me and you, and we can literally talk about what you want. What I tend to do is I'll send out a form to you. You'll fill out some questions or answer some questions. And then from there, we'll base that hour-long call on what information you provided me. And then we'll record it, send it over to you so you have access to it for life. But that's pretty much it. And I'm super excited. Guys, the value on this is worth over $3,000. It's a ton of stuff that we're giving away here. And that's what, again, I think this is one of the coolest parts about being a business owner is once you start to see some success, what really feels good is being able to give some of that back, right? And help somebody else. Like one of my favorite stories is to see, like, I've seen 16-year-old kids come through my program and start making $5,000 a month. And I thought when I was 12 and I was making $1,000 a month, I was happy. I was like, dude, I wouldn't have even known what to do with $5,000 a month. I would have been the coolest kid on the block. But like, it's a lot of money, but it's so crazy to see, and anybody can do this. If I have any final notes for you guys, I mentioned earlier that when I first started doing this, I was working 90 to 100 hours a week on my agency and still trying to manage my day job to make this work. It is not for the weak-spirited. Entrepreneurship is not for those of you who think this is a get-rich-quick scheme. And I never like to trick people into thinking that this is something where you're just going to make millions and it's going to happen in 2 months, because it's not going to happen like that. I would say 99% of the people who do something like this do not see that kind of revenue in the first 2 months. There might be that outcast that, he's like a genius and figured out the system and broke the system, honestly, if he's making that much money. But it takes commitment. You have to have the type of personality for it. You have to really want it. The cool thing is that I've seen, and we'll wrap this up after this because I'm sure you got other stuff to do, but it blows my mind. People who come from adversity typically do the best with entrepreneurship because they're used to knowing what a struggle feels like. And not to say that people who don't come from adversity can't, but just be prepared if you're going to start any type of business, and understand that a level of patience is required, but it's also hard work. It's not just going to be easy peasy. You are going to have to learn things. You're going to fail. But I don't like to look at it as failure. It is a learning experience that's going to make you better the next time. You didn't fail. I've run 4 other businesses before this business, and I don't think that any of those businesses failed because I learned something through every single one of those that brought me to where I am today, right? So it's all on your outlook, but you have to be committed. And if you're not, this is not the business for you. And again, not trying to scare you away, just trying to keep it realistic with you.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you, Jordan, so much for all of this. Thank you for coming on, for doing this presentation, teaching everybody, as well as collaborating with this giveaway. It's a killer offer for people, and will help you push through $3,000 worth of that adversity to get you guys going. So I posted the link in the chat for people who are on here now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find it in the description there. Again, it starts tomorrow morning, July 15th at 9 a.m. through July 21st at 9 a.m. Central Time. And the more people you share this with, the more people that enter, you'll also get more entries for it. So Jordan, thank you once again. Everybody on here, thank you for checking out. And we'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah. Thank you a lot, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Take care. Bye,
Yep.
everyone.
Bye.